Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of LifeScope. My name is Estefania,
And my name is Jasmine.
and today we're gonna talk about traveling.
Yes.
If you guys saw it on our story, we asked you guys what are some places that you guys want to travel. There's a lot of cool places like Colombia.
There was Cuba, Italy. Italy's one of mine. I want to
Yeah.
go to Italy.
The Netherlands. I think I saw Mexico City.
Amsterdam as well.
Amsterdam. Yeah, Amsterdam, and I think one of them was Vietnam and Korea, which looked really pretty too. Japan too.
Japan, yeah.
A lot of really cool places, and we hope you guys get to travel over there. And we thought about like giving you guys maybe some tips to kind of help you get there. Yeah. And we're gonna cover different topics too, within like traveling.
Yeah.
Things that you don't necessarily think in the moment, but are very important that you think of. But I say like let's start where we want to travel. Like, what's your ideal place that you want to travel to?
Well, like I mentioned, for me, one of the places is Italy.
Italy?
I would like to go there.
What part of Italy?
That I don't know. Like I need to go more research, do research about it. But I know Italy is one of them. Yeah.
I want to go to Italy. I want to go to. I have so many places, but in Italy, I want to go to what is it called? Where it's like it's a city, but everything has water.
I don't know what it's called.
Starts with a V. It's not Vienna.
I don't remember.
It's gonna come to me, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Well, actually, let me Google it.
It's the one with the little streams, or
Venice. Yeah, it's that one. Venice. Yeah, that's one. Then since I was little, that's like one of my dream places to go to. Venice. But I also want to go to Vienna in Austria because it's a really pretty place. And then also Prague in the Czech Republic. Because I went there, but I feel like I didn't enjoy it enough.
Okay.
So I want to go back.
You want to go again? Okay. Nice. I feel like I would like to visit Canada. Just because if my friends know me, they also know me. Like, I love Shawn Mendes, and he's from there, and he talks like good things about it. So I want to go check it out.
Yeah, I have a coworker, and he's from Canada, and he can't believe some of the things that we do here. He's like, I don't understand. But yeah, I've heard Canada is like a really nice place, and then probably it's gonna be cold, but I've seen like the scenery looks really nice in winter.
Yeah. It'd be nice to go look at it.
For sure. Let's go.
Yes.
All right. So now that we've covered places that we want to travel, let us know in the comments where you guys want to travel. But also, too, we wanted to talk about how to be safe when traveling. Yeah. Because especially if you go, I mean, I think it's a change even just going to another town or another state.
Yeah.
But going to another country can be completely different. So I would say do research on the country or the place that you're going to go to and look out for what are some common practices where people try to take advantage of tourists. Because I feel like especially when it's like a very touristy place, like people try to take advantage. I remember when we went, they told us if you had a backpack, like just to be wary of like how you had your backpack or if someone was like behind you, because they're so sneaky and they can take out the stuff from your backpack without you noticing.
Yeah, especially like the small pockets.
The small pockets. Yeah. One of the things that one of my friends did, which I was telling you about, and I think it's so smart, she would wear a fanny pack, a very, very thin fanny pack. Yeah. And she would carry her passport, her IDs, and a little bit of cash in there. And she would wear it underneath her shirt, so that it wasn't noticeable at all. It was like a very tiny fanny pack.
Yeah, that's really smart.
Yeah, so in case she lost her backpack or her bag, she still had that on her.
Yeah.
And she had it on her at all times.
Yeah.
So I think that's really smart. Yeah. So if you guys travel, maybe that'd be a good thing to do. Whenever you're going to the beach, I feel like it's a little bit different, but
yeah.
But if you're just going to a touristy place, like, I don't know, let's say Paris or somewhere else where you know you're going to be walking with like a lot of people, I'd say that's a really great idea.
Yeah, it is. It is. And then for the beach, like you said, it's different. But I've seen like where they put their, say, cash or credit card, like in somewhere where people don't usually look at. I saw one of them. It was a diaper. It was obviously like a clean diaper, but like nobody's gonna go and take a diaper. Yeah,
that's so smart. Like, yeah, exactly. Put it where no one's gonna look at.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, I guess now we're giving it away.
Yeah, I know.
Or like if your hotel room has a safe. And I would say try the safe first. Yeah. Because sometimes they're broken, and what if you put your money in there and you can't get it out? Yeah. But I'd say try it first, and if you see it works, then probably like you can put it in there.
That's true.
But I would still carry like a little bit of cash and just like hide it somewhere with me, just so just in case of anything.
Always be prepared.
Yeah, be prepared. Have plan A, B, and C. I'd say that's a good idea because you never know, things can happen.
Yeah.
We also wanted to say like to do your own research.
Especially I feel like with weather. Yeah. Say like they can tell you it's hot, but in the night it could be cold. Yes. So that's what happened with me in Payson. Even though it's not far away, but it still like went somewhere else. They did tell me to take like blankets, but I didn't really want to believe it, and I didn't actually like research it or anything. So I wasn't even gonna take a sweater, and like good thing I did. I took one, and I was still cold at night. I was still cold. I should have taken more, but
you should have taken your blankets, girl.
Yes, I know. I just took one, and I was freezing.
Yeah, do your research because, like she said, sometimes you might think it's one thing, but at the night it could be something completely different. Yeah. So be prepared. Do your research, and don't. I say when you do your research, don't just go off of one website that's gonna tell you, oh, this is this. Like look at different websites, and if you see like the trend is the same, then okay, obviously it seems like that's something that's gonna be in the place. So I would look at different like pages, or even if there's, because I know there's like a lot of Facebook groups and stuff like that. Yeah. So maybe like look in there for groups and ask for like tips if you're going somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. And also I would feel research on activities, like what activities to do when you go. And because I feel like on the online, there's always online, you can check the prices, and then once you're there, probably they can lie to you, like increase the price just because you're a tourist, like, oh, we can charge higher.
They do that.
Yeah, but like you've done your research, and then you're like, no, it's actually this price. Like, yeah.
And then know how much their currency is worth. Because like, for example, $1 here is worth 20 pesos in Mexico. So 20 pesos can get you, I said that so bad. 20 pesos can get you something like, I don't know, like some chips, some drinks. It can get you like different stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd say know the value of the currency too. And also do research on like mannerism and things to be worried about like when you travel. Because I know in some places, they don't take tips. I can't remember, but I've heard like whenever you go to these places, like don't tip, or you're supposed to eat everything to show like, oh, like it was really good. Or there's some places where you don't shake like with your hand that you clean your your boo boo with. Yeah, because it's considered dirty. Or some places they don't eat pork, like you just have to like look up and do research in the mannerisms, because also too, like you're coming into another country, into another culture. How are you gonna go and act like, you know what I mean?
Like something you might do that's fine here, like it could be offensive somewhere else.
Yeah, something that you do, it could be offensive. So I'd say research that for sure.
For that, yeah. What else? Traveling in 2020.
Well, I know like right now it's kind of crazy to travel, and we were talking about this, and we might eventually like need our vaccine to be able to travel, or sometimes even airlines might require you to have the COVID test done. So I'd say also look at that, like what do you need to get there, especially with COVID, because you might need more things that you needed before. You might need to have a COVID test done and come out negative like a couple of days before. So I would say like look it up and see, but also don't feel like restricted to. It just depends where you're going and what your situation is and whether or not you feel comfortable with. I feel like eventually, I know it's a hard situation that we're all in, but eventually we're gonna have to accept how to keep on moving with our lives with the virus. So I'd say just keep an open mind about that, and also look up, if you're traveling during this time, like look up what the restrictions are in other countries, the way that they're handling it, the way that you should act when you're there. Because like we were saying earlier, one thing that you might do here might be offensive somewhere else. So also, I don't know, just do your research and be sure that where you're going, you're being respectful of the way that they're handling things. And you're also making everything to be sure that you're safe while traveling too.
And I know, like, for parents, it's hard to, like, for my parents to let me go out as much. Like, they fear because of the virus. Like, you can still get sick, but I'm like, yeah, but we kind of have to learn how to live with it. Like, taking all the precautions, obviously, but it doesn't mean we have to be stuck like in our house. Like, yeah, we have to limit how much we go out because it's still a little risky. But still, it doesn't mean to be locked up, you know?
Like, we're not going to be going out every weekend and partying.
Yeah, exactly.
But we might be able to get away. For example, here in Arizona, we might be able to go on a hike. You know, there's not a lot of people there.
Yeah, that's true.
Also too, like you said, taking the precautions. So maybe, you know, like we're going to bring our mask, or we're going to do everything like to protect us. And I'd say, I know, like you were saying, like it's gonna have to be something that we kind of learn to live with.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. So also too, like how to save when you're traveling or before you travel. What are some ways that you would save before you travel?
With me, I would feel like limit spending on just like eating out. Like that's one of them. Like I wouldn't like all this weekend, like I'm actually cook because I'm saving. So instead of using that money to buy food out, like I would put it in a jar and like, oh, I'm gonna save this instead. Stuff like that.
Yeah, me too. Like, or with coffee and stuff, like
for sure.
Or clothes too. Like I would be like, I would say like set a budget. Be like, okay, because maybe you want to buy clothes to take on your trip.
Oh, true.
So maybe set a budget and be like, okay, I'm only gonna spend this amount of money for the clothes that I want to buy for my trip. Everything else is just gonna go towards that. Or this is the amount of money that I'm willing to spend if I'm going to eat out with my friends. In the meantime, until the trip gets here, this is the amount that I'm willing to spend. Everything else goes towards the trip. And I'd say once you're in the trip, like you were saying, I think it's so important that you do your research because that way, like you said, if they tell you, oh, I don't know, let's say it's $50, you're like, no, this is worth like $20 or $30.
Yeah. For sure. I like that idea. Like set a budget and write it down. Like we've mentioned in the other episode, like write it down, write your goals, and it'll be easier. Like if we would remember.
Yes. And like you said, having that jar or having something that you're able to see, you're seeing your progress. So it's like a cup. Like if you see it right here, you're like, okay, well, it doesn't have that much, but you know, I'm going to get there. But now it's halfway and you're like, yeah, like I'm doing this. Like, let's keep going, you know?
For sure, it helps you. It motivates you to keep going.
Yeah, exactly. And I know they sell you like the cute jars for like when you travel. It doesn't have to be that.
It could be anything.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
Also, what to pack? What's a mistake that we do?
Pack a lot of clothes. Yes.
I'm guilty of that.
Me too. When I went to Mexico, I packed like so many shoes and I only used 2 pairs. And I'm like, why did I take all these? Like, I didn't even use them.
That's what me and my sisters used to do. Now I have to pay for my own ticket when I go. So I'm like, I don't want to pay for a full luggage bag because I'm gonna pay like $30 or $50 more, and I'm not even gonna be there for that many days. So I've actually been better on packing like a smaller bag, and I just throw in like the underwear that I take. So it's always like, let's say I were to stay 5 days, I take 7 or 8 just in case. Same thing with my socks. As far as like pants, like again, if I'm staying those 5 days, I'll take like 2 comfy pants, so I use them to sleep. But also like if I'm going out, so like 2 comfy pants, I'll take like 2 or 3 pairs of jeans.
Okay.
and then like a pair of leggings. So that way I still have options just in case, because never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Things can happen.
Yeah.
So that way I still have options, but I'm also like not taking so many.
Too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as far as shirts, those I try to kind of plan and see like what situations I'm gonna be in. So that way I can take some comfortable shirts or for the occasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah. Because, but I mean, I haven't really traveled recently, but the 2 years ago when I went to Mexico, and I even took dresses that I didn't wear either, because I was thinking, oh, I might wear this dress this day, but I ended up not wearing any of the dresses. Yeah.
It happens.
That's why it's good to plan out. Like, all this day I should wear this and that, and depending how many days you're planning to go.
I would say it's good to plan having maybe like a little, like 1 or 2 extra pairs of clothes just in case of an emergency, or taking it like we were saying, maybe you don't know how the weather is going to be, maybe you think it's going to be sunny but it ends up raining, because in Guadalajara that's how it is. It could be sunny, but I don't know where it could start raining. So maybe like taking like a jacket or something that, yes, it's going to take up some space, but you might need. Or maybe if you don't want to pack it, taking a little bit of cash just in case like you need something, you have that cash that you're like, okay, I can buy this there.
That's true.
Because also, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Because sometimes it could be better that you buy it over there and it's cheaper and you actually bring something back.
That's true. Yeah, and I was just gonna say, like, if you travel lighter, like, it's easier.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to have this huge suitcase or something. Like, it's just easier.
Yeah. I would say definitely like try to plan what you're gonna wear, or take like a pair of shoes. Like this last time that I went, I made the mistake of only taking like 1 pair of shoes. Well, I took my Vans, and then I took like two wedge heels, because I was like, I had a little, because I was gonna be a godmother.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Godmother.
Yeah, for my little cousin. So I was like, I'm mostly gonna be dressed up, and the other 3 days I'll just wear my Vans. Well, I got Chile on my Vans, and they're white, so they look so bad. And I was like, I have to wash them right now, because otherwise it's not gonna come out.
Yeah.
And maybe just having like that plan B, like taking another pair of shoes.
Yeah.
So that same thing doesn't happen to you.
Yeah. Because I remember when we traveled, my sister, she's so weak. Like, we had 2 bags full of our clothes, and like she was staying behind in the airport since it's a long walk. She was like staying behind with her bags, and I already had 2, and I'm like, give me one. Like, I still got the other one. She was just couldn't. She couldn't because
they're heavy.
Yeah, they could get heavy.
My sisters, oh my god, sometimes they pack 1 full bag like this big. Like it's pretty big, like those gym bags.
Yeah, those are the bags we had.
Full of shoes. And I'm like, why are you gonna take so many shoes?
Yeah, like you don't need them all.
Yeah.
Just like 3 pairs max.
You don't. Yeah. Also setting goals. Like we were saying, like set the goal of a budget, maybe how much you're willing to spend on that trip, how much are you gonna put towards food, or how much you're gonna put towards activities, how much you're gonna put towards tours if there's tours, how much you're gonna put to buy. I think this is the thing that I spent the most money in, buying recuerdos, souvenirs. Yeah, buying souvenirs. So maybe set an amount that you're like, okay, this is the only amount that I'm willing to spend on souvenirs. And also what I did, or what they recommended us to do, because I went through a tour, they told us what was the place that was the cheapest. And that's where I bought most of my souvenirs.
Okay.
So maybe that could be one thing.
Like setting your goals, that's more of when you're already on the trip.
Also before.
You could do it before as well, yeah. Or even just when saving, like my goal is to have this certain amount of money by this date, like that as well.
Yeah, I think it's important to set them before and then during. I also heard this story of a person that whenever they traveled, they had different envelopes, and like they put an amount of money in there, and they were like, this is the amount of money that I'm gonna spend per day. And they would use it like an envelope per day. Which I think it's really good, but at the same time, like I'd be worried
Yeah,
With
what
the
if something
envelopes.
happens?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah, so I want to keep all my
Mm,
money in like the envelopes.
mm,
But it's a good idea
it's a
to
good
set like
idea.
an amount that you want to spend per day.
Yeah, maybe not if you're like scared to put the money in there, just a paper with how much you can spend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, too, like do research about like the country, kind of like we were saying before, and what you need there. So maybe because
Mhm.
I know when I went to Europe, the plugs, the wall plugs, ¿cómo se llaman? I don't know. The
Outlets.
outlets, yeah. Their outlets are completely different than ours.
Yeah.
So I needed an adapter, which I had to buy here
Oh,
before I went over there
okay.
to be able to charge my
To
phone.
charge. Mm-hmm.
So there's things that you might not think you need, but you do,
Mm-hmm.
like stuff like that, like an outlet
Yeah.
plug or an outlet adapter. You might need that.
Yeah, it's true. Mm-hmm. What could be other things that you're like unaware about?
Maybe um I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
like things that you use here that you might not find over there cuz they're just
Mm-hmm.
in the US.
Yeah, for sure.
So
That's true.
also too, I know when I packed I bought like a bunch of snacks that I was like, I'm gonna bring them with me just so that I
Yeah.
don't have to buy stuff over there.
Mm-hmm.
Although that's good, let me tell you, within the first 6 days, I was tired of my snacks.
Yeah.
I was tired of my snacks because I was like eating them. And it was like the same snacks because I bought like granola bars and then I bought some like gummies and like cookies or something, which I did to
Mm-hmm.
save money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I ended up being so tired of them. At the end, I
Okay.
didn't even want to eat them anymore. So
Yeah.
maybe like if you do something like that to try to save money,
Mm-hmm.
buy different like snacks, like alternate them so that you won't get tired of it,
Yeah.
and not like the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, what are other stuff that you think you might need?
I feel like you could also research on the tours because you said you mentioned you went on a tour before and like yeah, it helps you to see the different places,
Mm-hmm.
but like you've mentioned you felt rushed when it's
Mm-hmm.
in tour. So maybe yeah, it's a good idea to go on a tour, but then say you want to stay for longer days, then you can the next day you can go and actually explore the place for longer.
Yes. So the way that my
Mm-hmm.
trip was, I actually did it through school, and I went with some of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, we had someone with the university that wasn't like they weren't taking care of us because we're not babies, and they weren't like
Yeah.
behind us like the whole time. But they were still in charge of us getting back home like safe.
Yeah.
So they would let us like do our own stuff when we had free time, but most of the time we were in the tour.
Mm-hmm.
And like you were saying, I feel like it was very rushed because we were going. Yes, we got to see a lot of places,
Yeah.
and then we went to different countries. We went to like 7 different countries,
Okay.
and it was from like because we got there and we were in Amsterdam, and then we went to Berlin, and then we also went to Prague, and then we went to Budapest, and we went to different
Mm-hmm.
places, which, like I said, very nice to see all of them, very nice,
Yeah.
but it felt like very rushed. I don't know, because at least the way that I'm so used to traveling, and maybe it has to
Mm-hmm.
do with the way that you want to travel too.
Yeah.
But ever since I was little, my dad would take us on trips, and I don't know, I just find like the exciting thing or the thing that makes you feel like you're getting to know that place is like eating there, sitting down, talk to the
Mm-hmm.
people that live there, or just
Yeah.
like I don't know, like sit down, enjoy a coffee, and
Mm-hmm.
just
For sure. Like
have a
enjoy
good
your
time.
time there.
Yeah, like if you want to
Yeah.
watch the sunset, you watch the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to watch the sunrise, you watch the sunrise. If you just want to sit down on a park and just watch the way they live their lives,
Yeah.
like I don't know, it's just like those kinds of things that
Mm-hmm.
we weren't necessarily able to do. Like we still had some
Yeah.
free time, but for the most part we had to be like rushing around. And then it was like get up at
Mm-hmm.
6 in the morning, get on the bus because now we're gonna go here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hmm. And I don't know, like it depends, like I said, on the way that you want to travel.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it was beautiful and I got to enjoy so many things, and I'm very grateful that I had the experience.
Yeah.
But I feel like I want to go back because I didn't live it enough, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I go to another place, I like to understand the
Yeah.
way they live or the way that
Mm-hmm.
they do things, and I feel like I didn't
Yeah.
get to fully experience that.
Yeah. But the good thing about it was you got to see some of the places that if you enjoyed, oh, I want to come back to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
that was the good part about like that tour.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
Prague and Vienna, I'm like, I need to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
but
else?
Mhm. Also, too, which I think is very important. I'm like, so if you're gonna travel with friends, let's say me and you, we decide we're gonna go on a trip together.
Yeah.
I think it's very important that ahead of time you decide how you're gonna spend your money on that trip.
It's
So
very important.
yeah, so let's say we're each gonna pay our own ticket. We're each gonna split the hotel.
Yeah.
We're with the food. We can so it can be either I pay one day, you pay the other day, or it could be like everybody's just gonna pay their own thing. Because I feel like at the end of the trip, if you don't do that ahead of time, if you don't say like who's gonna do what,
then someone's gonna end up paying more, and then
or it's just gonna leave you with a bad feeling, like yeah, they're your friends, but you ended up feeling like you had to pay more because maybe you still had to buy like souvenirs and stuff. And I'd say so it's very important to communicate.
For sure. Yeah, for everything to be equal and just so there's no grudges or anything.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no grudges because I've heard of stories where it's like, and it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense because maybe you only have a certain amount of money that you're willing to spend, but it's important to talk about that.
Talk about it first. Yeah.
Don't just be like, let's go and that's it.
Yeah, let's go, but you pay everything.
Let's go. You pay. I'm gonna eat. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's just not fair.
No, it's not fair. Or also too, like maybe like planning the dates, because even planning, I feel like it's a lot of time that you have to put in. So I feel like it would kind of be unfair to leave it all in one person. Maybe if you agree to that, like say, okay, Jasmine, I'm gonna let you plan it. And if you're okay with doing that and me not doing anything, then fine. But if I feel like it's kind of unfair to do that too. But depending on how you guys
depends on how they feel,
or maybe I take turn on one day, you take the turn for the next day. I'm planning it and so on.
Yeah, that too. But like I feel like planning it together would be better, just because both of you know what you. Oh no, I want this instead, or let's do this. Like both of you.
Yes, together, both of you together. Yeah, so that way you're on the same page, and there's also no grudges. Because I know on the trip, like I said, when I went, it was a tour, and they gave on the free time they gave us like the main spots that you could go to.
Yeah.
And some people wanted to go one way and some other people wanted to go the other way. So maybe like compromising and saying, oh, we're gonna go here, but we're also gonna go here. Or oh, let's choose this place, and then when we come back or whenever we get to another city or something, we'll go to the place that you want.
Yeah. Compromise, or it's better to just communicate it so you both know.
Yeah. What else do you think would be something helpful to know, or maybe things that you don't think of
when traveling? I would say just that, like, because you're always scared of your belongings. So like, I like the idea of the fanny pack. So things like that.
Yeah, the fanny pack, definitely. I would say don't take things that are gonna be of value that you don't want to lose.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then also too, don't like overdo it. Like also too with like makeup and stuff for girls. I don't know, when I'm traveling, well, especially like during those times, I felt like sometimes I just wanted to get up and like not do anything. But I would still like put on some makeup and stuff. I feel like, when you're traveling, it might be good to get some of those like fake lashes that you get done. Because literally you just wake up and you're ready to go. But at the same time, it's bad because when you go in the water, in the beach, they feel, because I've had them done before and it feels like your eye is like heavy, like you can really open them. Or if it's windy, it feels like
extensions?
Yes, the extensions. So I'd say think about that too, like if you have extensions or if you're gonna have your nails done, like think about all of that.
Yeah, that's true.
So communication, think ahead of time and do your research.
Yes. Plan out your goals too.
Yes, plan out your goals. All right. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Yes. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, on Spotify, Apple Podcast,
everything at LifeScope 7.
Yes.
Bye, guys.